Welcome to my channel once again. I've been at home since March. I've only left my home to go and get groceries. The remainder of the time, I'm happy to be at home, to be working from home. If you don't know, I'm in the real estate business, and what I've been doing is I've been making tons and tons of phone calls to prospective clients, to my neighbors, to see if there's anything I can do to assist them. And there's a question that a lot of people have been asking, both when I'm making phone calls or on my social media page. Are the home prices going down? Is the market going to crash? When is it going to crash? To answer that, you first have to understand how real estate works. This pandemic is unprecedented. Nothing like this has happened before, but it has a similar effect on our society, on our markets. An effect that we've seen in the past recessions and depressions. What is that? The stock market, that's the initial indicator. Why? Because it works in real time. When something good or bad happens, to any industry, whether it's oil, commodities, real estate, agriculture, it impacts the prices, the stock prices of those companies or those industries. But as you've seen, the stock market has been acting funky. Now, the second thing you have to look at is unemployment rate. And we've seen the unemployment rate skyrocket. It's at its highest point ever in this country. Why do we care about the unemployment rate? I'll answer that in a bit. Third thing you have to look at is a lot of businesses had to close their doors to prevent the spread or slow down the spread of the virus. Now, as things are starting to open slowly, a lot of those businesses will never be able to open their doors again. That further adds to the job losses that came from companies that are still operating but just couldn't keep the number of employees they had initially. So when unemployment rate goes up, consumer spending goes down. When everybody's making money, it doesn't matter whether you're making $250,000 working for a bank or you're making $12 working at McDonald's. As long as you're making money in America, people like to spend. Whether it's just random, impulsive shopping on Amazon, or it's a little bit planned out car shopping, or TV shopping, or furniture shopping, people spend. People mostly spend on things they really don't need, but they just want to change. It's a want. When unemployment hits the society, the country, that consumer spending goes down because now I don't want that TV. I don't want that phone case from Amazon. I definitely don't want a new car. People hold back on their money. But that's a separate issue. Today I was talking to a banker. I went to the bank and the loan officer was telling me that she was surprised to see people spend money the way they're spending, even in these tough times. Like I said, consumerism. But that's a whole different story. Now, when consumers pull back on spending money on items they don't really need but they want, that's another dangerous sign. That means that they're short or they're low on their cash reserves, which means they're saving that money to make critical payments now. What are those critical payments? house mortgage, rent payments, your car payments, health insurance. Now what happens? A lot of folks look at their bank balance and their critical payments and they realize, I still can't afford this. I need money for food more than I need to make my mortgage or rent payment. So what happens? You talk to your landlord, you talk to your mortgage company, and you ask for forbearance. Forbearance is putting off your payments for a later time. Now what does that do? The landlord or the mortgage company, now they're not getting their money. And these people have to pay to somebody else. You see, it's a trickle-down system. When a landlord can't make a payment on his apartment complex, what's going to happen? The bank is going to say, hey, buddy, pay up or lose up. The landlord asks for forbearance then. And when the bank doesn't get the money, the bank has less cash reserves of its own. When the bank has less money, the bank can't make out new loans. When the bank can't make out new loans, the bank shuts its doors. Now, I make it sound very simple, but I wanted to help you understand how things work and how all this impacts real estate. Now you see all those forbearance payments, $1,000 a month. This is just an example. $1,000 a month in rent payment or mortgage payment isn't a lot. But when you add up a few months worth of payments, that's a lot because you have to make other payments too besides your house payment. Now, when things start to go up and eviction orders expire, right now, landlords can't evict tenants. Banks can't evict homeowners. But once those eviction orders expire, you will start to see a rise in evictions, which means you will start to see a rise in foreclosures. All at the same time, you will start to see people with a lot of cash come up and fetch those foreclosed homes. Now, this entire process, it took me a few minutes to explain, but it takes months for it to happen. You see, the bank is not going to come to you and say, hey man, you didn't pay me rent for the last 2 months, mortgage payment for the last 2 months, you're out. No, it's usually a few months, then the process of foreclosure starts. That also takes a little bit of time. When all is said and done, it takes several months for all this to happen. So real estate is a lagging industry. We are not going to see the impacts and effects of this pandemic on real estate for another 6 to 18 months. You will see some form of shift in the real estate